A private DNA test tied to Bob Marley's legacy has surfaced through confidential legal channels, and the reported results are already causing tension within his family. What was once considered settled history is now being challenged in a way that could permanently alter the structure of his estate, the legacy at risk. Bob Marley died in 1981 at only 36 years old, leaving behind a musical legacy that would eventually turn into one of the highest-earning estates in music history. His catalog never faded with time. In fact, it became more influential. Reggae was global before he died, but after his death, Bob Marley turned into an immortal brand. His image, his music, and his message of unity never disappeared from popular culture. That is why the Marley estate today is not just a sentimental legacy. It is a business worth hundreds of millions of dollars, constantly generating revenue from music royalties, licensing, merchandising, and film projects. When Bob died, reports showed he left no official will. That is often repeated in nearly every discussion of the estate. The absence of a will meant the division of assets had to follow Jamaican interstate laws at the time. That put his wife, Rita Marley, in a powerful but complicated position. Under Jamaican law, she was entitled to a large but not exclusive share of the estate. The rest would be divided among Bob's legally recognized children. At the time of his death, that number was already in double digits. Multiple children from different mothers were already part of the family tree. That reality was widely known. This was not a case of a quiet personal life revealed after death. Rita Marley was fully aware during his life that Bob had fathered children outside their legal marriage. Yet Rita became the central figure who protected the rights, image, and profits of the estate over the coming decades. She was not passive, she was not silent. She was strategic and extremely careful about who got access to the Marley brand. Any project or partnership had to pass through the Marley estate's approval channels, which Rita helped oversee. The Marley name became a carefully managed enterprise. The estate has since grown into a multi-generational operation. It is not only about Bob's direct music earnings. The family launched business ventures, including Marley Coffee and the official Marley Natural Wellness brand. There have been documentary deals, music re-releases, and licensing agreements with major corporations. The Marley estate was even ranked by Forbes for years as one of the highest-earning estates of any deceased celebrity. Bob Marley became as commercially significant in death as Elvis Presley or Michael Jackson. When that much money, influence, and legacy is at stake, the number of people involved in decision-making spreads wider. Children, grandchildren, business managers, advisors, and corporate partners all have operating power in some form. The more people inside the circle, the more sensitive the ecosystem becomes, especially when it involves legal heirs. Because heirs are not just symbolic, they are financial stakeholders with legal rights. If someone can be legally proven as an heir, that person does not just gain emotional acknowledgement, they gain direct legal standing tied to assets, trademarks, and royalties. That is why the Marley estate has always been extremely selective about who is publicly or legally acknowledged. A new heir is not just a new name on the family tree. A new heir is a redistribution problem. It is a legal restructuring of profits and rights, especially since Bob Marley's music earnings do not shrink with time. They grow as the brand expands. So, if someone appears decades later with confirmed DNA proof of direct lineage, it is not a minor personal reveal. It is a legal threat to the existing financial layout. And when that legal layout is as large and carefully controlled as the Marley estate, emotions do not stay calm for long. The mystery child claim appears. In recent months, a new figure has emerged, claiming direct lineage to Bob Marley, and it is sending ripples through the Marley family. This is not a story of old rumors suddenly resurfacing. According to multiple reports, the individual came forward officially with legal representation, seeking recognition and potentially a stake in the estate. The timing caught many family members off guard, sparking both legal and personal tensions. While the estate has always been careful about public acknowledgement of heirs, this claim has forced the discussion into the open. The identity of the claimant has been verified by several sources close to the Marley family, though the estate has not issued a public confirmation. This person is reportedly in their mid-30s, which would place their birth near the late 1980s, a few years after Marley's passing in 1981. That alone raised questions, but sources indicate that legal advisors found records linking the parentage claim to Marley's known timeline of relationships. While fans of the Marley legacy might assume all children were accounted for, this new claim is backed with documentation and, eventually, a DNA test that could not be ignored. What makes this revelation more complex is the legal strategy behind it. The claimant reportedly initiated a quiet legal process to secure recognition and access to estate management or benefits. This is not an unusual move in high-profile estates, but in the case of the Marley estate, the stakes are unusually high. The estate controls rights to music, trademarks, and brand ventures that are global in scale. Any new heir recognized legally would potentially alter the division of royalties, merchandising profits, and even control over new projects. The process is delicate because it combines financial implications with family reputation. The Marley children, already publicly recognized, have been aware that claims might surface over time, but the suddenness of this particular filing triggered immediate concern. The estate had operated under the assumption that its heirs were already identified and legally recognized. This unexpected claim challenges that assumption, raising questions about whether other previously unacknowledged children might also come forward if the first claim gains traction. Legal analysts suggest that when one new claimant is validated, it can encourage others, creating a chain reaction that could significantly affect the estate structure. Another aspect adding tension is the public perception. Even though the legal process began quietly, leaks to the media and social networks are inevitable. Celebrity estates, especially those tied to music icons like Bob Marley, are highly sensitive to public opinion. Fans are invested not only emotionally, but culturally in the Marley legacy. A new heir emerging suddenly could spark debates about authenticity, morality, and fairness. While the estate has traditionally protected Marley's image carefully, this situation introduces a dynamic where private family disputes become public discussion points. Sources close to the case indicate that Rita Marley's immediate reaction was a combination of surprise and concern. As the estate matriarch, she has long been the central figure managing both family unity and business affairs. The appearance of a new legal claimant disrupts both areas. It also underscores the need for careful documentation and verification, since the family's reputation and the estate's revenue streams are closely tied. While no court decision has been made public, insiders report that preparations for formal DNA testing and legal review are already underway. This claim illustrates how even decades after a legendary figure's death, their legacy is still vulnerable to personal and legal challenges. For the Marley family, what was once a stable framework of heirs and business control is now entering uncertain territory. The story is only beginning, but the emergence of a mystery child, backed by legal action, has changed the conversation permanently. The DNA test no one expected to happen. The turning point in this unfolding story came with the DNA test. While the claim itself raised eyebrows, it was the test that transformed speculations into a serious legal and emotional issue. The Marley estate, long accustomed to managing heirs discreetly, faced a situation it could not ignore. DNA evidence is concrete, and in high-profile estates, it is often the final word when it comes to inheritance disputes. The test was reportedly requested by legal representatives of the claimant to verify parentage formally. This step was strategic. Without documentation, a claim might remain in the realm of rumor or anecdote. DNA, however, provides a scientific court-admissible confirmation. In the context of celebrity estates, it is difficult to overstate the weight such proof carries. The Marley estate knew that any test result confirming paternity would immediately alter family dynamics and financial planning. Details of how the test was arranged remain scarce, but sources indicate that it was conducted under strict confidentiality. Laboratories that handle celebrity DNA cases often have procedures to protect both privacy and legal validity. Samples must be collected, sealed, and transported according to established protocols. The chain of custody must remain intact so that results are legally defensible. For a global figure like Bob Marley, where millions of dollars and decades of reputation management are involved, even a minor procedural error could be grounds for contesting the findings. It is reported that the test compared the claimant's DNA against samples from verified Marley children and family members. Modern genetic testing can confirm biological relationships with extremely high accuracy, often exceeding 99% certainty for direct parentage. This precision leaves very little room for doubt in court, and it gives the claimant a credible basis for pursuing legal recognition. From the estate's perspective, this is a situation that cannot be managed with negotiation alone. Once the result is finalized, legal protocols must follow. The news of the test itself leaked in a controlled manner. While the estate attempted to maintain discretion, insiders acknowledged that even private tests in high-profile families rarely remain hidden for long. Once the results were returned and verified internally, the Marley family faced the dual challenge of managing both their internal reaction and the potential public fallout. In families with multiple children and extensive media attention, even the hint of a new heir can generate public speculation, pressure, and questions about past decisions. It is also worth noting the timing. The DNA test arrived decades after Marley's death, in a period when the estate was well established and business operations were stable. Introducing a new verified heir at this point is not a simple addition. It is a disruption to a long-standing financial and organizational structure. Legal advisors reportedly began preparing for all scenarios, including the possibility of contestation by other family members or stakeholders. Ultimately, the DNA test transformed the claim from a story of potential interest into an undeniable reality. It also set the stage for what would likely become an emotional confrontation. In celebrity estates, the interplay of money, reputation, and family loyalty is complex. DNA does not just confirm biological fact. It forces the family to navigate emotional truths, inheritance logistics, and public perception simultaneously. For the Marley family, this test was the moment the conversation could no longer be postponed. DNA results drop. The moment that changed everything arrived when the DNA results were officially confirmed. Reports indicate that the test matched the claimant with a direct biological connection to Bob Marley. This was no longer speculation, rumor, or family gossip. The scientific confirmation made the claim undeniable and placed the Marley estate in a position it could not ignore. According to sources, the results were delivered privately to the estate's legal team first. This allowed the family and advisors to prepare before any information reached the media. Even with this discretion, the impact was immediate. The Marley children and key estate managers were reportedly informed in a controlled setting where the legal and financial implications could be outlined carefully. In families of high net worth, DNA confirmation often triggers careful review of estate documents, trust structures, and inheritance plans. Every possibility must be considered before moving forward. The confirmed result reportedly stunned Rita Marley, who has long been the central figure managing the estate. Her reaction, according to insiders, included shock and frustration. The estate has spent decades carefully managing Bob Marley's image, music, and assets. Introducing a newly verified heir after all this time disrupted both the emotional and financial balance that the family had maintained. The news added a layer of personal betrayal, even if it was entirely factual, because it brought a private part of Bob Marley's life into public consideration in a way that could not be reversed. Lawyers familiar with the case suggest that confirmation of paternity immediately triggers certain legal rights for the claimant. Depending on Jamaican inheritance law, a newly recognized heir may be entitled to portions of royalties, trademarks, and other financial benefits tied to the Marley estate. This is significant because Bob Marley's music catalog alone generates millions of dollars each year. While the financial stakes are substantial, the implications extend beyond money. Recognition also involves legitimacy, family acknowledgement, and historical record adjustments. The results also created tension among the existing children. While some may have already known or suspected additional siblings, having it confirmed formally changes the dynamics. Questions emerge regarding trust, transparency, and the allocation of inheritance. High-profile estates like this are especially vulnerable because legal recognition comes with not just financial rights, but public validation. Fans and media begin to scrutinize decisions, raising pressure on the family to respond appropriately while maintaining discretion. This is compounded by the timing. Bob Marley passed away in 1981, decades ago, and the estate had operated under an assumption of closure. All legal structures, branding decisions, and public narratives had been developed around the previously recognized heirs. A confirmed new heir forces the estate to revisit nearly every decision, both business and personal. The ripple effect can be extensive, affecting not only royalty distribution, but ongoing contracts, brand partnerships, and licensing agreements that rely on the integrity of the estate's management. In practical terms, the confirmed DNA result meant the Marley estate could no longer delay engagement with the claimant. Negotiations, legal representation, and family discussions had to begin immediately. The result also triggered media attention, as word of a verified love child spread quickly among fans and entertainment journalists. Social media amplified the story, adding a layer of public scrutiny to an already sensitive private matter. Ultimately, the confirmed DNA transformed the story. What started as a claim in legal filings became an undeniable reality that touched both the Marley family emotionally and professionally. For the first time in decades, the Marley estate was confronting a challenge that was personal, financial, and public all at once. Rita Marley's reaction. The news of a confirmed love child reportedly hit Rita Marley hard. As Bob Marley's widow and the central figure managing the estate, she has spent decades protecting both the family and the brand. Her role has always been a mix of matriarch and business overseer, and this new revelation disrupted both aspects at once. Sources close to the family describe her reaction as a combination of shock, anger, and frustration. It was not simply about the claim itself, but the timing and the potential impact on a legacy she has carefully curated for decades. Rita Marley's approach to the estate has always been strategic. She has long been the gatekeeper of Bob Marley's music, image, and the rights associated with his name. Any new heir introduces both emotional and financial complexity, which can unsettle long-standing plans. Insiders report that her first response was to consult with legal counsel immediately, reviewing the implications of acknowledging a newly confirmed heir and preparing for any necessary actions to protect the estate. The goal, according to sources, is to manage the situation with precision while maintaining the integrity of the family structure. The emotional component cannot be overlooked. Rita and Bob shared a life together for years, and she has consistently spoken about maintaining unity among the children, even those from other relationships. The confirmation of an unacknowledged child decades later introduces questions about trust and transparency. While Rita reportedly recognizes the legitimacy of the claim scientifically, the timing and manner of the revelation sparked understandable frustration. This is not unusual in high-profile estates, where personal history, public image, and financial interests intersect in complicated ways. Reports indicate that her reaction included immediate discussions with the other Marley children. The family reportedly held private meetings to address concerns and emotions. While she is known for emphasizing unity, insiders say that she also expressed a firm stance on ensuring that the estate remains organized and protected. Any decision moving forward would need to balance legal responsibilities with maintaining family cohesion. The presence of a new heir inevitably introduces tension, but sources emphasize that Rita's priority has been to handle it methodically rather than react impulsively. Media coverage of the story quickly picked up. And while Rita Marley rarely comments publicly on disputes involving her late husband's children, sources suggest that she is closely monitoring reports and considering official statements carefully. The goal is reportedly to protect the family from unnecessary speculation, while navigating the legal and emotional complexities of the situation. In high-profile families, even a private reaction can become public, so caution is essential. Beyond the legal and emotional elements, there is the matter of the Marley brand. Rita Marley has been instrumental in licensing agreements, product partnerships, and music releases that continue to generate millions each year. Any new heir introduces questions about distribution of royalties and potential input into ongoing projects. According to experts familiar with celebrity estates, the introduction of a new legally recognized heir can complicate governance, even when the family intends to act harmoniously. Ultimately, Rita Marley's response underscores her dual role as both family matriarch and estate manager. She is navigating the delicate balance between personal emotions and business responsibilities. Her measured, strategic approach suggests an understanding of the stakes involved. Protecting Bob Marley's legacy, safeguarding the estate, and maintaining family unity despite an unexpected revelation. While anger and surprise were natural initial reactions, her focus now appears to be on managing the situation responsibly and ensuring that decisions are both legally sound and emotionally fair. The money problem just became real. The confirmed DNA result introduced more than just family drama. It directly impacted the financial structure of the Marley estate. Bob Marley's estate is one of the most lucrative in music history, generating millions annually from music royalties, merchandising, and licensing deals. Introducing a newly verified heir could potentially alter the distribution of these revenues, creating a complex financial scenario that the estate must now navigate. Before the revelation, the estate's earnings were divided among Bob's recognized children and controlled carefully under trusts and legal structures overseen by Rita Marley and the estate's management team. Royalties from Bob Marley's music alone continue to generate substantial income, not just from sales, but from streaming, performances, licensing for commercials, and collaborations. Any change in legal heirship directly affects who has a claim to these ongoing payments. The stakes are high, and the financial impact of adding a new heir cannot be understated. Legal analysts explain that once parentage is confirmed through DNA, the new heir may be entitled to a portion of the estate's earnings. This includes not only direct financial assets, but also potential participation in decisions about brand usage, licensing agreements, and marketing partnerships. Essentially, recognition would grant both financial benefits and influence over the estate's operations. While it is possible for agreements to be negotiated privately, the presence of a verified heir gives them standing in legal proceedings, which could complicate existing arrangements. Even beyond the immediate financial impact, there are implications for ongoing projects and partnerships. Companies that have licensing deals with the Marley estate rely on the stability of its structure. Any uncertainty about heirship can affect contracts and negotiations. Potential investors or partners may seek assurances that the estate's governance is secure before entering agreements. A new heir may not seek full control, but their legal recognition can still influence business decisions and long-term strategic planning. The timing is critical. Decades after Bob Marley's passing, the estate had developed a predictable and stable financial system. Revenue streams, branding strategies, and licensing deals were all based on the known structure of heirs. Adding a new legitimate heir disrupts this balance, requiring revisions to legal documents and potentially renegotiating agreements. It can also create tension among existing heirs, who may have expectations of continued income or influence over estate operations. Even small changes can ripple into larger financial consequences. Experts emphasize that the scale of the Marley estate makes these developments particularly significant. Unlike a smaller family estate, the amount of money and international partnerships involved creates a scenario where every legal decision has major repercussions. The estate cannot simply ignore or delay acknowledgement of a new heir, and any disputes are likely to involve formal legal processes, financial audits, and careful documentation. Beyond the legal and financial dimensions, there is a symbolic element. Money and inheritance in high-profile estates are closely tied to legacy. Recognizing a new heir is not just a matter of dollars. It is also a public acknowledgement that the family structure is more complex than previously known. This can influence media coverage, fan perception, and even the value of the estate's brand. For the Marley estate, the combination of financial, legal, and public implications makes this a critical moment. Ultimately, the confirmation of a new heir has transformed what might have been a private family matter into a multi-layered financial challenge. Rita Marley and her advisors must now balance fairness, legal obligations, and the long-term stability of the estate. For the Marley brand and family, the money problem is real, immediate, and unavoidable. Family drama ignites. The confirmation of a new heir immediately ignited tension among Bob Marley's children. While the Marley family has long been described as close-knit, despite multiple mothers and diverse backgrounds, the arrival of a previously unrecognized child introduced an unexpected dynamic. Sources indicate that initial reactions varied widely, from disbelief to cautious acceptance, and in some cases, outright anger. For families managing both personal relationships and a high-value estate, these reactions are understandable. Insiders report that some of Bob Marley's older children felt blindsided. Even if there were prior rumors of additional offspring, formal recognition through DNA testing has legal consequences that cannot be ignored. Suddenly, the family was faced not only with adjusting emotionally, but also with recalculating inheritance stakes, royalty shares, and potential decision-making power over the estate. In high-profile estates, even subtle disagreements among heirs can escalate into significant disputes, and this situation has all the elements to do so. According to legal analysts, communication within the family is critical at this stage. Private meetings reportedly took place where the new heir was introduced to immediate family members under controlled circumstances. The goal was to manage emotions, clarify legal realities, and minimize public exposure. Even so, the news leaked quickly to the media, which inevitably heightened tension. In families with global recognition, controlling the narrative becomes as important as addressing the legal implications. The drama is further complicated by long-standing relationships among the Marley children. Rivalries, past grievances, and differing levels of involvement in the estate all influence how the family responds to a new claimant. Some children reportedly worried that acknowledging the new heir could set a precedent, encouraging others to come forward. Others focused on the personal side, considering the emotional impact on their late father's memory and the family's public image. The combination of legal, financial, and personal pressures created a volatile environment. Fans and social media have played a role as well. Once news of a confirmed new heir circulated online, discussions quickly spread across platforms. Supporters of the Marley family expressed sympathy for Rita Marley and the recognized children, while some audiences voiced curiosity or even support for the new claimant. Celebrity estates often face this dual challenge, navigating private family dynamics while responding to public interest. The Marley family is no exception, and sources suggest they are closely monitoring reactions without engaging publicly yet. Adding to the tension, insiders note that other Marley children began reviewing past interactions and statements in light of the new information. Some questioned whether they had overlooked hints of additional children, or if previous claims were dismissed too quickly. This reflection can create subtle conflict, even among siblings who were previously aligned. In estates of this size and prominence, small disagreements can escalate when combined with media attention and financial stakes. Ultimately, the confirmation of a new heir did more than add a name to the family tree. It disrupted long-standing assumptions, challenged relationships, and forced the family to confront realities they had not anticipated. Managing this situation requires a delicate balance of communication, legal oversight, and emotional intelligence. As the Marley family continues to navigate these challenges, one thing is clear. The arrival of this new heir has permanently reshaped the family landscape and brought private tensions into the public eye. How the public is taking it. The public reaction to the news of a newly confirmed Marley heir has been swift and intense. Bob Marley is more than a musician. He is a cultural icon. For decades, fans have celebrated his music, his messages of unity and peace, and the family that has carried on his legacy. Introducing a previously unknown child adds a layer of complexity that has captured attention worldwide. Social media platforms quickly filled with discussions, opinions, and debates about what this revelation means for the family and the estate. On Twitter, posts range from curiosity to strong opinions. Some users express support for the new claimant, emphasizing fairness and the right to acknowledgement. Others focus on the Marley family, suggesting that the sudden emergence of a new heir could create unnecessary drama or threaten the carefully managed legacy. In many ways, the conversation mirrors typical debates in celebrity estates, where personal, legal, and financial interests intersect publicly. Fans who grew up listening to Bob Marley's music find themselves questioning family dynamics they never knew existed. Mainstream media outlets have approached the story cautiously, but with intrigue. Articles often highlight both the confirmed DNA results and the potential implications for the Marley estate, combining factual reporting with analysis of possible outcomes. Coverage frequently includes statements from sources close to the family, while noting that Rita Marley has not commented publicly. Journalists also point to the estate's long history of managing both music and business interests, emphasizing that any legal recognition of a new heir could have lasting effects on royalties, licensing deals, and brand ventures. Public discussions also touch on the ethical and emotional dimensions of the revelation. Some commenters debate whether the new heir should be embraced for the sake of family unity and historical accuracy. Others question the timing, wondering why the claim emerged decades after Bob Marley's death. In this way, the public is not only engaging with financial implications, but also reflecting on the human and moral aspects of the story. Fans appear invested in understanding how the Marley family will navigate both personal feelings and legal responsibilities. The story has also sparked renewed interest in Bob Marley's personal life and relationships. Articles and social media posts frequently revisit his known children, relationships, and history of fatherhood. This retrospective coverage tends to highlight both Marley's complex personal life and his enduring cultural significance. Even decades later, revelations like this remind audiences that celebrity legacies are never static, and that public figures' private lives continue to generate conversation long after they are gone. Interestingly, some reactions focus on the music itself. Fans argue that regardless of family disputes, Bob Marley's songs continue to resonate globally, suggesting that his art transcends the complexities of his personal life. Others view the revelation as a lens through which to examine the human side of an icon, reminding audiences that even legends have intricate, sometimes messy family stories. The public seems split between interest in the legal and financial implications, and fascination with the emotional narrative behind the announcement. Overall, public reaction highlights the intersection of celebrity culture, legal intrigue, and emotional storytelling. Bob Marley's legacy is both celebrated and scrutinized, and the arrival of a newly confirmed heir has intensified attention in ways few anticipated. Fans, media, and casual observers alike are all watching closely, demonstrating that even decades after his passing, Marley's family and story remain deeply compelling to a global audience. Bob Marley's legacy has always been larger than life, but the recent confirmation of a new heir shows that even icons' families face surprises decades later. The story continues to unfold, reminding us that fame, fortune, and family are often more complicated than they appear from the outside.